The Bachelorette has made what might be its boldest and riskiest casting decision in franchise history, and the world of reality television hasn't stopped buzzing since. In a move no one saw coming, producers have tapped Taylor Frankie Paul, the social media star, controversial mom influencer, and former face of one of the biggest Mormon mom talk scandals of recent years, to lead the next season of The Bachelorette. For a franchise that's been fighting to stay relevant, struggling with falling ratings, and desperate for a reboot, this casting is nothing short of a gamble. But is it a stroke of genius or the beginning of the end for one of America's most iconic dating shows? Taylor Frankie Paul, now 31 years old, is not your typical bachelorette. Unlike nearly every previous lead, she hasn't come up through the franchise itself. She wasn't a fan-favorite contestant on The Bachelor, she wasn't eliminated before the final rose, and she isn't someone we watched fall in love and fail under the bright studio lights of ABC's carefully curated world. No, Taylor's story comes from outside the bubble, and that alone makes this casting different. But what really has people talking are her past scandals, her legal troubles, and her already complex family life. Let's rewind. Taylor first burst into public awareness through her presence on TikTok and her role on the reality series The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. In 2022, she went viral after openly discussing what she described as a soft, swinging arrangement within her circle of Utah mom influencers. For audiences unaccustomed to hearing Mormon mothers talk candidly about partner swapping and boundary-pushing marriages, it was shocking. Taylor herself later admitted it was a mistake and something she regretted, but by then she had already become one of the most talked-about figures in online gossip. Some called her bold and refreshingly honest. Others saw her as reckless, willing to risk her marriage and family for clout. That scandal marked the beginning of Taylor's reputation as someone unafraid to break rules, but it was only the beginning of the drama that would follow. By February 2023, her name made headlines again, this time for far more serious reasons. Taylor was arrested on multiple charges, including aggravated assault, domestic violence in the presence of a child, criminal mischief, and child abuse. The most shocking allegation was that she had thrown a chair during a heated altercation, narrowly missing her child. The fallout was immediate and intense. For many, this was no longer light gossip or messy influencer drama. It was something darker. As the legal process unfolded, some charges were dropped, and eventually, Taylor pleaded guilty to a reduced misdemeanor count of aggravated assault. But the damage to her reputation lingered. Critics labeled her volatile and dangerous. Supporters argued she was a woman going through a difficult chapter, someone willing to admit mistakes, take accountability, and rebuild. In many ways, her story since then has been one of public redemption, a narrative the Bachelorette producers seem eager to amplify. Now let's look at Taylor's personal life, because it's going to play a massive role in her season. Taylor is a mother of 3 children. Her oldest, Indy, is 8. Her middle child, Ocean, is 5. Both are from her marriage to her ex-husband, Tate Paul. Her youngest, Ever, is only a toddler, born from her relationship with her now ex, Dakota Mortensen. That's right, Taylor is not just walking into The Bachelorette as a single woman looking for love. She's walking in as a single mother of 3 children, balancing co-parenting with 2 different men, and carrying a past that has already been dissected by millions. That's an enormous amount of baggage to bring onto a show that historically marketed itself around fairy tale romance. But here's where it gets really interesting. Taylor herself has admitted that she didn't even give Dakota, the father of her youngest child, a heads up before the casting announcement went public. She speculated that he might feel sad when he found out, but she didn't reach out beforehand. That revelation alone stirred a whole new round of public reaction, with some calling it careless and others seeing it as another example of Taylor living unapologetically on her own terms. So why would The Bachelorette choose her? The answer lies in ratings. Over the last several years, the franchise has seen its numbers plummet. What was once must-watch Monday night television has been fighting to hold on to viewers in an era where dating shows on Netflix, Hulu, and other platforms offer far spicier, faster, and more unpredictable drama. Producers have been accused of playing it too safe, recycling the same types of leads, and failing to evolve. With Taylor Frankie Paul, safety is the last thing anyone can accuse them of. This casting represents a gamble, a decision to embrace controversy rather than avoid it. Taylor is polarizing. There's no middle ground. People either love her or they can't stand her. And for the producers, that's exactly the point. Polarization equals attention. Attention equals ratings. The hope is that viewers who are skeptical, angry, or even horrified by the decision will still tune in, if only to watch the train wreck or to see if Taylor can prove them wrong. Public reaction so far has been fierce and divided. Some Bachelor Nation loyalists have blasted the decision, calling it the end of the franchise as we know it. They argue that casting a lead with a domestic violence arrest and a history of scandal undermines the family-friendly fairy tale image the show once prided itself on. They say this move crosses a line, that it's exploitative, sensational, and unfair to the men who will be competing for her affection. On the other hand, others see it as bold, fresh, and exactly what the show needs. They argue that Taylor's story is real, it's messy, it's authentic, and in a world where reality TV often feels staged and sanitized, Taylor could be the one to bring genuine unpredictability back to the franchise. Celebrities and commentators have also chimed in. Lisa Barlow from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City applauded the casting, saying audiences would finally get the raw version of everything happening. But not all reactions were supportive. Joy Behar on The View stirred outrage by making jokes about Taylor being a mom of 3 and suggesting that contestants could end up as baby daddy number 3. The comment was slammed by many as insensitive and outdated, especially given how loaded discussions of motherhood and single parenting have always been on this franchise. Meanwhile, others, like co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin, offered a more positive spin, calling Taylor authentic, chaotic, and representative of a new kind of lead. Behind the scenes, Taylor has been preparing for the spotlight. Reports suggest that her friend and fellow reality star Jessie Natkakera has been coaching her, helping her rehearse rose ceremonies, practice navigating the franchise's format, and reminding her to own her story rather than run from it. At a recent event, Taylor appeared with her friend and Mormon Wives co-stars Whitney Levitt and Jen Affleck, who publicly expressed their support, insisting Taylor would crush it as the new Bachelorette. Still, doubts remain. Online critics frequently bring up the 2023 chair-throwing incident, questioning whether someone with that history should be celebrated as a romantic lead. Reddit threads and comment sections are filled with debates about forgiveness, accountability, and redemption. Some insist that The Bachelorette is crossing a dangerous line by rewarding scandal with more fame. Others argue that the franchise has always been about second chances, about finding love despite past heartbreak, and that Taylor's journey could be the ultimate redemption story. And then there's Dakota Mortensen. After the casting was announced, he posted a cryptic message about life throwing curveballs, about God and family being the most important things, leaving many to wonder if he was indirectly reacting to Taylor's big news. His words only added to the sense of drama surrounding the announcement, reminding everyone that this isn't just a TV storyline. These are real people with real families navigating real consequences. So what does all this mean for the future of The Bachelorette? If Taylor Frankie Paul's season delivers strong ratings, it could mark a turning point. It could show that the franchise is finally willing to evolve, to embrace the messiness of modern life and love. It could attract a new generation of viewers who don't want polished fairy tales, but raw, complicated human stories. But if it backfires, if audiences reject Taylor, or if scandals overshadow the romance, it could be a devastating blow to a franchise already on shaky ground. One thing is certain, this season will not be boring. Whether you tune in to cheer Taylor on, to criticize every move she makes, or just to see how the men respond to a lead unlike any other, her season is guaranteed to spark conversation. For better or for worse, Taylor Frankie Paul is rewriting the rules of The Bachelorette, and the entire world of reality dating shows will be watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.